Hello, friends, and welcome to LoveTalk Network. I'm Coach Kerri Brinkoeter in studio today with Marlene McMichael, Cathy Endebrock, and a former guest who is a friend of ours. And I'm so grateful you're back with us, Emily Calasopa with Shine On Performing Arts. Hi, Emily.
Hi, thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to tell you the story of why you're back. There's a couple of things. We adore you. I'm so happy to see you in person again. But we've been keeping up with all of the great things with Shine On Performing Arts. Before we get to that, Marlene, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Doing well in this month of October. Good night. Well, actually, it's November 1st
November
today.
1st.
November
And
1st today.
do you know what I found out when you guys stepped out of the studio?
What,
November, even though
Kathy?
we're taping this in advance,
Yeah.
but this airs November 1st, and that
Mhm.
is Emily Calasopa's birthday.
No, not mine. Hold on. Shine
No.
On Performing Arts.
Oh,
Oh,
Shine
you
On Performing
were.
Arts.
Yeah.
That's your
Well, I
birthday.
missed that.
Sopa's
So is that
birthday.
year 2?
Okay.
No,
Year
3.
Year 3.
Yeah,
Year
year
Wow,
3.
well,
3.
congratulations.
And that's a big year because we can apply for grants now. So as soon as we hit year 3, it really, really opens up the doors for us.
Wow. So at 3 years old, you're official now.
3 years old, we're
Okay.
official.
That's pretty
We're
cool.
official. We did it, guys.
You did it. Shine On Performing Arts. Okay, so I gotta tell you the story. A couple of weeks ago, my husband and I were at one of our favorite little dinner spots. It's this hole in the wall Mexican food place in Georgetown. And as we were leaving, I saw an old acquaintance. And so, of course, I just stopped, bebopped over. Hey, how's it going? And so we chit chatted for a second. And she goes, Oh, Kerri, I got to tell you, I was listening to one of your old podcasts, and you guys were interviewing Emily from Shine On Performing Arts. She said, My son just auditioned for Scrooge, for the cast of Scrooge, and we just got the phone call today that he has been cast. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? So I love that she found you through our podcast and that her son is now involved in this. I think he's 14 or 15 years old and will be participating in A Christmas Carol. I
Yes.
said Scrooge, but the technical name is A Christmas
And he is
Carol.
Scrooge.
That's right, he's
Yes.
Scrooge.
Yeah, he is.
He's Scrooge, and so that made my heart so happy, Emily. Congratulations on everything you've done with Shine On Performing Arts. Looking back, I feel like you were just starting whenever you hadn't even done one production yet. How many kids did you have in that first production back in 2023?
24.
24 kids in your first production.
Mhm.
And for your cast of Scrooge or for A Christmas Carol, how many are in that production?
We have 41 in that production, but just on Monday nights, we have over 150 in
Oh,
classes and in the production.
wow.
Yeah.
It has exploded.
Yeah, it really has.
Your vision for a place for people to go that were just looking for something a little bit different than a
Mhm.
traditional studio to perform God has just richly blessed this endeavor for you. Did you ever envision that it would be this massive?
No, absolutely not. Like, I didn't even know that it was my heart song and my dream to start something or to be here today. It's just a culmination of all the different opportunities and all the different gifts that God has given me came together, and he led me into this position, and I continue to be amazed every single day. It's very special.
Wow. I love it. I love
Okay.
it.
May I ask?
Yes. Go,
Okay,
go, go.
so define special. You
Yeah.
have a relationship with the Lord, and
Mm.
you've got a bunch of kids that are coming to your school or your program. When they leave, what's the takeaway? What's special?
Very good. So we're actually all ages. So we have everyone right now enrolled between the ages of 3 and 65.
Mhm.
And first of all, that's very special because opportunities to all ages. We're
Mhm.
also all abilities. So we just include everyone and put them together and really meet everyone at a level individually, but collectively we come together to put together whatever the final product is. And again, that's not really happening in other areas, but it much as the leadership works to and bring opportunity to our students, they bless and bring us like so much
Mm.
joy. And it is just, oh, it's a family. It is with the Lord remaining at the center of it, which is another thing that in the arts, you do not
Right.
see that as
Mhm.
often anymore. And
Mhm.
I'm heavily involved in all of the arts educators of Austin and the greater Austin areas, communications, and we meet up once a month. And it it seems to always turn back to like, what are you doing over there? And that's working. And you're also faith-based. And how? What?
Mhm.
And God continues to astound me with his presence. And when you feel like you might be kind of a lone sheep in a group of individuals that maybe don't know him or don't speak loudly for him, and that happens at times even within our program because we do open our arms to everyone, he still shows up in such astoundingly beautiful ways. And even amongst any sort of hardship or trial, he's just so centered in it. And that's so special. It is just a special thing. And so I don't know any other words for it other than it's just beautiful. It's
You know what I'm
I
happy
love it when go ahead. I was gonna say, when you're feeling like you're a lone sheep, you just have to remember
Go
who
ahead,
your
Cathy.
shepherd is. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm so happy to see that the exuberance and joy that you had back in February of 23 when you were first on our program, you still have, because you've now put on 13 or 14 full productions
Yeah.
since then, which is that it is exhausting and draining and gratifying and all the things, but you still have you still seem so energized, Emily, and just so grateful for these opportunities
Oh,
that God has given you.
I am. He completely fills me and my core leadership with so much energy. And if there's anything I would say that has happened over the last couple of years, it's just wisdom of knowing how
Mm,
to lead an organization that really I don't have much to go by in terms of true professional level arts training under the umbrella of Jesus's of God's love and
wow.
having Jesus at the center of it and not shying away from that and not apologizing for it in any
Right.
way, really opening the door and then allowing the Lord to move.
It's
Oh my
amazing. I
goodness.
mean,
Love it.
he has just given you such a gift. I mean, when you say you have no professional training, I mean, he just guides you each step of the way and brings it all together. And so, Coach Kerri and Marlene, I do want to call out just today's sponsor for today's
Yeah.
program, because one of the things that I love is that Love Talk is not on the air except for our sponsors. And I love it that our sponsors who keep us on the air enabled us to interview you, and then that helps your business. And so if you friends are interested, if you have a
Mhm.
Christian business, you want to be a sponsor of Love Talk Network to not only benefit your business, but to also benefit other businesses within the community by enabling Love Talk to do what we do every week. Just reach out to us at let's talk at lovetalknetwork.com. But our sponsor for today's program is Tim Smith Landscaping, and you can reach out to them at timsmithlandscaping.com. They provide professional landscaping and gardening services for residential and commercial properties in the greater Austin Metroplex. From landscape design to irrigation installation, rock work, patio design, and they have the best tree planting service that there is, where they will not only help you pick the tree that is going to thrive, they will plant it, they will also guarantee their work. So, anyway, thank you to Tim Smith Landscaping. You can reach them at timsmithlandscaping.com.
Excellent. Thank you,
you.
Cathy. Thank you, Cathy. Well, I want to go ahead and give you a formal introduction of Emily Calasopa, founder and president of SOPA, SOPA. That is what we are saying, Shine On Performing Arts. Emily grew up homeschooled and very shy, believe it or not. And she was introduced to theater when she was about 14 years old in the hopes that maybe this would help her come out of her shell. Well, it worked. The magic of theater became a lifelong passion. Over the years, she's performed in countless productions and worked behind the scenes as director, musical director, choreographer, stage manager, and a crew member. She has a particular love for hair and makeup design. I'm so glad our folks on YouTube can see you now, Emily. I remember talking about that back in 2023. And you are so cute and you are so lovely and you have just the most beautiful style. So you guys should go check out our YouTube. You guys can meet Emily there. Emily has used her extraordinary skills for both community and professional theater and film projects. She studied developmental psychology in school, and she believes that these studies really formed how she works with people today. She is the oldest of 10 children, 6 of whom were adopted. And so she learned leadership very early in life, often in challenging and meaningful ways. These experiences have shaped who she is. And she knew that she was meant to be some kind of teacher, but probably not a traditional teacher with tests and requirements, but a facilitator, someone who provides tools, support, and opportunities while encouraging growth without bias. Your goal, Emily, has always been to empower others to succeed on their own terms. So you began SOPA in 2022, and you have committed to leading this organization in a way that is uplifting, encouraging, supportive, challenging, and always grounded in quality and integrity. And above all, you want to honor God, believing that fully in Him, all things are possible. Wow. What a great bio and just a testament to who you are, Emily. And you're shining in Shine On Performance Art.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. You've built a board now.
Mhm.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But in the time that we have left in this segment, Emily, can you tell us how you came to know that Jesus loves you?
Ah, I remember answering this last time too,
Yeah.
and I just feel like I have always known that the Lord was there for me. I didn't
Mhm.
have the easiest upbringing, and I felt fairly alone in that. And I just always knew that Jesus was there. I always
Mm.
knew his presence was so palpable to me. And I remember about 8 years old, and I can't quite remember. I remember where I was, but I can't quite remember if I had opened the Bible or if I just knew that I needed to look up this verse. And it has kind of become my life's verse. And that's James 1, 2 through 6, which is
Mm.
the consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you face trials of many kinds. And it goes on to talk about being steadfast and persevering in order to be wise and to find wisdom
Mm.
and not be blown by waves in the sea. And now I've kind of adapted that to calling it worldly woes. And anytime that there's a worldly woe, we just don't get blown by it. And
Mm.
when we are steadfast and when we then persevere through that, wisdom is going to come from it.
Mm.
But that has always been like my life's verse. And anytime along my journey in my faith, I just feel like God plants that front and center in my life, and um, it shows me that how present he is at
Mm.
all times.
I love
That's
it.
beautiful.
It is beautiful. Well, listening friends, we are going to hear all about Shine On Performing Arts, SOPA, when we return to Love Talk Network. This is such a great opportunity. If you are interested at all, go to the website. Emily, it's shineonperformingarts.com, right?
.org.
.org.
Yeah,
That's
or
right. .org.
SOPA Austin, so
Okay.
SOPA
Okay.
Austin.org.
Excellent. I'd highly encourage you, if you're interested at all, to go there. There's an opportunity for everyone. We're going to hear more about that from Emily after our break. Friends, we'll be right back after this. Again, all of our sponsors are love the Lord. They are filled with integrity, they are honest, and they would love to serve you. So listen through the break. And when we return to Love Talk, we'll have more with Emily SOPA and Shine On Performing Arts right after this. Hello, friends. Welcome back to LoveTalk Network. Coach Kerri Brinkoeter here in studio with Marlene McMichael and Cathy Endebrock and our sweet friend, Emily Calasopa with Shine On Performing Arts. So grateful that you made time today, Emily, in your vastly busy schedule to come and hang out with us. So why SOPA? Why, ah, when did you know God was calling you to this? And how did you put legs behind this calling? How did this all begin?
I've had quite a journey through the arts in my life. I kicked and screamed, literally cried in the bathroom for weeks when my mom put me in theater. I was extremely shy. I'm actually still pretty introverted. It has to be kind of talking about SOPA
Mhm.
or my children or something that I'm very passionate about, the Lord, for me to not be super introverted and shy. So those that think that the arts are not for everyone, I think they are so for everyone, whether
Mhm.
it's backstage or tech or administration or on stage. There's really truly a place for everyone. But after a while, my mom made me audition for my first show, and I got a lead in it, which was hilarious. I played Aunt March in Little Women, and
Oh, so
I
fun.
was 15. And then I have several siblings, as you said earlier, and I sort of took over as their parent lead through their theatrical journeys. They were far more, two of my sisters were far more into theater than I was. But I got a chance to work on the artistic and also hair and makeup design, which is really what made me think, oh, this is kind of cool. I think I could do this. So ironically, I started in building wigs and putting hair and makeup on these kids. And it was just such an intimate time to spend with them and kind of hype them up for what was about to happen on stage. Even though I was also a kid, I was also a teenager working with them. It just made me realize like age wasn't a thing either. Like
Nice.
ministering to other people in whatever way they need to hear it. It can happen with anyone at any age. And then I went on to work at the theater that I had been part of and moved through different boards and different leadership positions at several different theaters up in Washington State. And then we moved here in 2017, and I worked for two other theaters and moved very quickly up through the leadership. And was an interim artistic director of another theater here in Austin. And that door closed, and I just knew I was supposed to be running that theater. So when that door closed, I literally hung up the phone and immediately typed in the domain of Shine On Performing Arts, which that name God had given me in a dream almost an entire year before. The name, the logo, everything, it was such an interesting thing. And at that time, I had looked it up, and the name and the domain were not available. So it wasn't time, everything God's perfect timing. And it was available this time, and within, like 4 days, I had founded a nonprofit, just crazy. And
Cheers.
Marlene knows about that.
yeah, and that has been the journey since. When something is right and you're on the right journey, and you're on the right path, the Lord seems to just really open those doors and bless you along the path. And we moved so much faster than, first of all, we were told, but actually we were told it was completely miraculous. For instance, we got our full 501c3, not the miniature one, not the easy one, the full nonprofit in 7 days.
What?
That does not
7
happen.
days,
Yeah.
yes. And we had just received an email from them saying it was going to be 18 to 24 months because
Yeah.
of shutdowns and because of lack of staffing. And my, at the time, she was my vice president on my board. We sat down and prayed about it that morning. It showed up in my mail at 11 o'clock that morning.
That's amazing.
That
Mhm.
is awesome. That is only God. And
It's
so
only God.
it was like, okay, Lord, you are setting this in motion. you've obviously got this under control. And so then you open your studio, and best I recall, you were like out in Cedar Park, and
We were in Leander at a
Leander
church.
at a church, and you didn't
Yes.
even, you were like, okay, everyone, we need costumes
Yep.
for, and kind of building your repertoire, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know how to say that in theater terms, but building your base. And now tell us where you are
Oh,
now in
goodness.
2025. And
Yeah.
your website is extensive. You go from 3-year-olds all the way, you said you're casting people who are in
In
their
their 60s.
60s.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us where you are now.
Okay, so we moved out of our church. We kind of outgrew it. We were in a church gym and upstairs in 2 classrooms uh, last May, so a little over a year ago. And we were able to secure this old motorsports shop. It literally had a car lift in it at the time when we were there, and motor oil all over the floor. And we moved in there June 1st, and we opened a show June 7th.
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
what?
Yeah, we opened Alice in Wonderland week. It was crazy. Built, moved our lighting in and did a show. And then a few months after that, we were able to secure the building right behind that, which is a almost 7,000-foot warehouse.
Mm.
And we have a stage built in there now. I call it the hangar, but it's actually Shine On Performing Arts Center. So we call it the SOPAC.
The
So there's
SOPAC.
the SOPAC
Aw.
and the studio, which is our 85 seat. That's the car mechanic shop. It doesn't look quite like that anymore. We've definitely cleaned it up, but we're actually about to close out our lease on the small one and move up to the big one permanently. So our lease is 5 years up there. So we're just starting that one, and that has been a whole journey as well. On Monday nights, we need 5 classroom spaces, and we have 2. So we have been putting up like pipe and drape walls and making it work. And every time a challenge comes up, because God brought us people, He is so good to give us what we need to get through it. So we're growing, and it has been a whirlwind. I say that I feel like I understand what it means to be a vessel, because I feel like I just am like, okay, be still and quiet and open your arms, and then find the peace. I always pursue the peace in all decisions and communications, and then we go, we communicate, we figure it out, and it is going all the time.
So when you mean by
Okay,
go ahead,
I
Cathy.
would just love to, yeah. I just something that comes to mind is, so many individuals, when they want to step into what they believe God is calling them into, they see the overwhelming challenge. And I
Mhm.
just listening to you, it just sounds like just almost fairy tale-ish, where the doors are opening and you're walking through them, and you're getting your 501c3, and when you need a building, you get a building, and it's plenty large enough. But you did say the word challenge. I heard the word challenge, and I know things can get very overwhelming. I would like you to talk with us very transparently that, pursuing God, maybe talk with us about one of those biggest risk moments or even failures that you had to walk through, and what you learned from it, where the enemy would have wanted to discourage you and say, see, this isn't what God had for you. You shouldn't be doing this. Who do you think you are? You need to stop this altogether. And what did you learn from it? How did God get you through it?
That's so good. There have been probably nearly daily
Mhm.
challenges from the enemy. I was actually talking to Kerri about this earlier, that I feel like at this point, I can almost see how the enemy rotates through different methods of attack, whether it be financial. Just to give you an idea, yes, the building did come to us after looking at 48 buildings, and our
Mhm.
rent is $20,000 a month. So we are not
Oh.
talking about something that is easy or inexpensive. We are talking about thousands of dollars, and our overall operating expenses are between $30,000 and $50,000 a month, and that is not paying staff. That is
Mm.
between licensing fees, because the arts are not friendly with their fees. Producers want a lot of money for these shows that we are putting on. Um, or we have incredible volunteers that come in, and they are spending so much of their own time, money, and resources to provide for us. But at times that door has also closed because they have just been burnt out by it,
Mhm.
or it becomes too daunting or overwhelming. And um, I think that's a struggle we all face every single day. And because our doors are open to all ages and all abilities, that also can be a challenge. I actually find that the adults are far more of a challenge than the kids. The adults, just think about this for a second. How would it feel to get a note from someone who is perhaps 20 or 30 years younger than you on stage, even if it's a positive one, even if it's like, that was really good, do more of that? Adults hear it as, I was doing something wrong before.
Right.
Something
Mhm.
I'm not doing the right thing. So
Mhm.
sometimes just being on stage or directing something, even in that moment, there will be confrontations that are it's so that clearly the enemy trying to wedge his way into this relationship, which is just trying to happen with a pure environment. Um, and it really does have to be an environment of calm, wise learning from everyone. But as leadership, have to stay even more calm and wise and
Mm.
tread gently, because every single person brings
Mhm.
their own story, and I'm not asking them to be the same. I'm asking them to be individuals, and the challenge for myself and my staff is to meet them individually.
Mhm.
Um, Also, I have been attacked physically pretty extensively. I was running and fell off the stage in December and broke 17 bones.
I can't
Goodness.
Emily, I can't even believe
Yeah.
that is
And it
awful.
was actually, about 11 o'clock at night before we opened a show
Oh my
the next
gosh.
day, and so I didn't go to the doctor for 3 days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so I was in bad shape. And then
Oh my gosh.
just as soon as I healed, one of our actors was moving scaffolding, and it tipped over, and I instinctually grabbed it, and it smashed my wrist. So I'm still healing from that. But those are those things that it's a worldly woe. If I let the enemy get to me, if I feel that and I let it start to bring me down, I'm going to get too tired. I'm going to get too worn down. And yes, I do have amazing leadership, but it is still in the early stages of growth and development. And so much of it is getting out of my brain and out of my experience and out of my body what the the curriculum is, or what the communication styles are. So actually this season I'm directing every single show so that we can be sure to be on the same level of communication. And then I'm just bringing on as many as five assistant directors, five choreographers, five musical directors, five stage managers per show, so that the education, the gifts that God gave me, again, I don't really claim to know how I'm doing it. I don't. I will tell everyone,
Supernaturally.
it feels so supernaturally. Like I was saying earlier, it feels like one of those things where I'm like, why was that so great? And then I get the amazing experience of watching product back that, yes, I did it, but it feels like an out of body experience because it is so
Mm.
much more than me. It
Mhm.
is, yes, it is the community, it is the artistic team, but the general public and peers within the industry come and watch, and they're like, what is different here? How are you doing this? And I'm just like, well, it's
Mhm.
not me. And then like, it's the Lord. He is working through us. And I truly think it's because we are claiming his presence, and we're not, even when things get hard, even when we get challenged by, um, we've been really blessed with our students. They have been very, very, very open to respecting us. And we have seen, I think this is a question that we're going to talk about later, but we have seen so many doors open with individuals that have come in just completely unaware of who the Lord is and what kind of love what is God's love? How does that
Mhm.
look? And where's the judgment there? Is
Mhm.
there any? And how does it look when it's the arts, which is a very scary judgmental space? And we just keep that door open, and we have seen the Lord work over and over and over again. And it is amazing. It's
That
beautiful.
was a question I wanted to ask, is
Mhm.
that the people who come there know that this is a Christian-based
Oh, absolutely.
facility. So what are they either coming for themselves or for their children? What are they hoping to, and gain is not the right word, but to,
Why are they choosing us?
yes, or what are they going to absorb there that's
Mhm.
going, I mean, are they coming for the acting skills? Or are they coming for the Jesus part of it? But what are they wanting to take away from the experience?
I think that's a really great question. I really feel very strongly that the arts can happen. I think there's going to be a revival in the arts, music and
Mm.
singing and showing your gifts brightly and not backing down from them. So I think a huge majority of our people are coming for the actual professional level training that they're getting. Um, they are like, hey, we read your reviews, or we talked to this person, and they're all recommending that we come and see you. And then they're not so scared about the faith-based portion of it. Very rarely do we get that side of it. On the other side of it, we get more parents that are worried that we are allowing it to be everyone coming in. Um, and
That's interesting.
I also I get that too, because I say for all. I mean, we say for all in our mission statement, and we're really truthful about that. Um, but we are also, because we're all abilities, there isn't adult all opportunities or all abilities opportunities out there. And so we have a very large population of young adults on the spectrum, and I would say 20s through 30s. And we have a place for them, and they're included in the mainstream. There's no difference in the level of training. There's no difference in anything that we're doing. And same with physical limitations or limb differences or hearing impairments, visual impairments. We're like 70% dyslexic or visual processing disorder within the program. And we've just adapted. Again, this is one of those things, like, I don't have a degree in that, but I'm dyslexic. So there are certain
Mm.
things that I just know, and I'm like, oh God, that's why I had that. Like now I get it, because I can just so naturally assist with, that's okay, you can't read that out loud. Here's what we're going to do instead. I just want you to repeat after me. Or I do these things with littles where one tap on my thigh means turn right or go right, and two taps mean turn left. And so for stage direction,
Mm.
they don't even have to hear it. They just see me tap once or tap twice, or they can hear that. So it's just adapting. I don't know that's really happening many places. And so that's one of those areas I think people are coming for. Then we do have the side where believer families do feel that we are safer, which I would agree with. We do try very hard to keep even the shows that we do, not choosing things that are extremely liberal or really pushing the boundaries at all, which other youth programs in the area don't really try to not push the boundaries. Sometimes they try to push the boundaries.
Mhm.
But I believe you can be inclusive without pushing it. And there's behavioral contracts that everyone signs, um, and like code of conducts. And within that, what we ask is that no one educates beyond what the parents would educate on. And that keeps us
Mm.
very protected. And we have a strike system. So that's how we handle that. But it has just been really, it's worked very well. There's a lot of open communication. It is crazy because there's so many people now, but it's just I think the communication is so open, and we live so out loud in the way that our leadership is. about the rules, about who's actually at the center of all this, and it's not questioned. It's just,
That's great.
yeah, it's
Emily,
really cool.
I
Very
want to, I
cool.
know that we're going to be having listeners listening to this as we're kind of kicking off some of our holiday programming for Love Talk Network. And, they're looking ahead into November and December and looking for opportunities to take their family or to buy gift certificates for family. And hearing about the Christmas Carol, we try and take the girls to a Christmas program, something in the arts every Christmas season. So, how soon do those tickets go on sale, and how can someone like make sure that they actually get a ticket to go and see the Christmas Carol?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question too. The show is running December 4th through 14th, and we're out in Cedar Park. Um, I'll just give you the address right now. It's 1200 Toro Grande Boulevard, number 100, and we're going to put tickets on sale usually about 4 to 5 weeks beforehand. So it'll be the beginning of November that those tickets will go on sale. There isn't a ton of seating, about 150 seats, 140 seats. We are also doing it along with a Christmas market. So there will be like an old-fashioned Christmas market. So all of our students are each being assigned a table, or like there are groups of them assigned a table, and they're going to decorate those tables. So everybody can kind of go and see, and we'll have some like old costumes for sale, or like cool set pieces, or props, and also like antiques and stuff. So it's going to be really, really neat. It'd be fun, so fun for families to come out and hang out with us a little bit ahead of time of the show and get some hot chocolate and then sit and watch the show.
And how much are the tickets?
They're 25.
25.
That is very reasonable to take your family to see a production that is going to be quality and so much fun. Okay, so Emily, kind of take me back just a little bit. You keep talking about this education piece, and you said on Monday nights at your place you have 150 kids there,
We do.
people there, people. So what does that look like? What does this education piece look like?
Yeah. So Mondays is our academy night.
Okay.
And also, we do have a program that's less intensive. It's called Rising Stars, and it's for ages 5 to 15. It's definitely an after school drop off program. They're doing Peter Pan Jr.
So fun.
And yes, and they meet for 90 minutes for a few months, and then they put on a show. So that's happening in 2 age groups, or 2 time slots. And then we also have our Act 1 Academy, which is ages 10 through 15. And that is it. I'll tell you about all of our academies in a second. And then we have our Act 2 Academy, which is adults. So it's 16 through 116. I'll take it there. I'll take it there. And then we have our Spotlight Academy, which is our pre-professional education academy for like the kids who are really focused on professional development, not necessarily in the arts. It could be on stage, off stage, tech, or we have several that are not pursuing that at all, but it helps them with resume building and portfolios. And then the skills you learn in theater really can transfer very well into so many different areas of life. And that's for high school through gap year. So,
nice.
yes. And sometimes gap year can vary a little bit. Like we have a 17-year-old in a gap year right now. But we also have had 20-year-old last year. And they all meet on Mondays. So it's a intense day with lots of learning, but it's very, very cool. Our academies are year long. So they are from September through May, and they meet once a week for either the Act 2 is 2 hours, Act 1 is 3 hours, and Spotlight is 4 hours. And Spotlight Academy actually gets to produce and be in their own production in February, and they'll be doing Godspell. And then they produce the show for the community theater as well. So these kids are getting to do everything. They're getting to do the costumes, the media, the tech, lighting, sound, everything. And we always have a student tech team, a teen tech team. They're generally ages 10 to 15, and they run it.
Wow.
They run all of our shows. Yeah.
That is, it's awesome the amount of opportunity that you are providing our community. Friends, I'm going to give you the website again before we go to break here. Give my notes. Shineonperformingarts.org. Shineonperformingarts.org. The website is beautiful and you can find all the information there. But we have one more segment, short segment with Emily Calasopa from Shine On Performing Arts when we return to Love Talk Network right after this.
Welcome back, friends, to Love Talk Network. I'm Cathy Endebrock in studio with Coach Kerri Brinkoeter, the marvelous Marlene McMichael, and our wonderful guest, Emily Calasopa with Shine On Performing Arts. And it has been the first two segments, friends, so great, so wonderful. When we pre-record, I just look forward to some programs dropping on Saturday morning so I can wake up and listen to them all over again from the other side. And I'm looking forward to listening to this program. And I want to say thank you to our sponsors. For those of you listening on radio, you hear from all of our sponsors, from Santa Rita Ranch, from Craig Larson Financial Advisors, from Casa Mechanical, from Let's Pray Today Ministries, and also from the program sponsor for today's program that we'll share with you now, and that is Tim Smith Landscaping. And for both commercial and residential needs, Tim Smith can help with rock structures, with tree planting. If you want a tree, he can help you select one, get it put in, and guarantee the success of that tree. If you own a business, you own a residential property, and you want to just transform the landscaping of that property, reach out to Tim Smith at timsmithlandscaping.com. He has been with us since Love Talk has been on the air. He is one of only two sponsors that's been with us for 40 years. So he is established in the Austin area and would love to help you with whatever your landscaping needs are. So thank you to all of our sponsors, but especially for this program sponsor, Tim Smith Landscaping. Well, Emily, so we do have a number of questions left for you. I'm excited about the option of purchasing gift certificates for your spring shows. You also talked about gift certificates for summer camps that a lot of the grandparents like to buy for the grandkids. So many opportunities to pre-purchase as a Christmas gift, as a stocking stuffer. When kids go to your camps, we know that you kind of serve all different age groups and all different levels. What can a parent who is sending a child to your camp, what can they expect? And then after that, we're going to talk to you about someone who goes to one of your performances. What can they expect when they show up in the theater?
Great. So our summer camps are really neat because we do a show in a week. So they're abbreviated and usually we write them, but we have everywhere from our little camps. So they're called mini musicals, and that's like ages 3, 4, 5, sometimes like almost 3 and sometimes 6. And then we have our like main kid groups, which are like 6 to 14 years old, and they meet from 9 to 4. We have half day camps as well. But then at the end of the week, they get on stage, they have lights, they have mics, they have little, they all get their own t-shirts that they get to color. And so it's like a show logo, and then they get to customize it on their own. And then they wear those for their costumes, and they get to put on a little abbreviated version of an actual show and perform it for a whole entire audience. And that usually, like, I would say maybe like 40% of them think they don't want to do it when they come in. But it is such a supportive environment, very fun. Our staff are so fun. Our like older teenagers are always part of that. And they're very experienced, and they love the little kids, and they love sharing that joy. And so they get a lot of time with the kids get a lot of time with those older teens. And usually they've also seen those kids on stage. So they're kind of like celebrities to the little ones, which is really neat. And yeah, so that's what our medium ones do. And then we also have a teen camp, which is 2 weeks long. It's called Total Teen Takeover. And the teens come in, and we spend the first week just really building a foundation and what it's like to audition, to be part of a show, but also the artistic team side. And then they go home that weekend, they learn the music that they pick, they write a script that puts everything together, and then they spend the next week rehearsing but every single number has a different director, a different musical director,
Mm.
a different choreographer, a different costumer. And so the kids all get to have this very inclusive experience, and it really shows them what happens behind the scenes. Being on stage is I call it one small sprinkle on the cupcake. It is
Mm.
just a very small portion of it. What happens backstage is 10 times more than that. The people that come together, the thought that happens, the work that happens, and the kids get to experience that. That's ages 12 through 19. And then they put on 2 shows, and that's always a major hit. But yeah, purchasing gift certificates is a great Christmas gift for kiddos, because they go on sale. The camp's open in January. So that's when you can register it, but we'll have the gift certificates ready for Christmas.
I love that. What a great idea, because I know so many grandparents are looking
Gift
for
for
ways to
yeah.
give experiences
Yes.
and not stuff.
Right.
And this could be, as it was for you, a life-changing
Mhm.
experience at the age of 14 when you stepped into your first theater, kind of kicking and screaming,
Yeah.
but obviously an absolutely life-changing experience for
Yeah.
you. I've been in precisely 2 plays in my life, and both at church, and I loved every second. Every
Oh, good. We'll
second.
get you in the next one.
I loved it. It was so fun for me. Oh gosh, but I really, really enjoyed it. And so there is a place for everyone.
Mhm.
You have opened your doors to just include people that need a place to go,
Yeah.
that are looking for something, and you have a job for them,
Mhm.
no matter their ability.
Absolutely.
And that's creativity.
It is.
God
Yes.
is so gracious. He's given you the ability to see what someone can do, and you give them a job, and I'm sure they're very proud to do it. So, Emily, you have made it very clear that you profess Jesus, you profess the saving love of Christ. When do you do that during your productions?
Oh, I mean, very beginning.
Very
So even
beginning.
at
Mhm.
auditions, we pray. And I do a little audition masterclass the first hour or so of auditions, so everybody's on the same page. It's very fair.
Mhm.
And then we pray. And um, just anytime anyone needs prayer, we all stop. It is not something where we pull someone out of the
Mm.
community to pray over them unless they ask for it, of course. But
Mhm.
generally, it is so normal that nobody really balks at it.
Nice.
Yeah, and then it really gets special when we get into show weeks because we do something called Circle Up, and we get into a circle, and there's this book called believe it's called The Other Side of the Church, and it talks about finding true joy and what does that look like, pure joy. And we do one of the affirmations from that where everybody turns to the person behind them and in front of them, so they have to do 2 people per show. They hold hands, they look into each other's eyes, they take a breath together, they transfer a smile through their eyes, and then at the very least they have to say, I love you and I appreciate you.
Mm.
But what ends up happening is minutes and minutes and minutes of just filling each other full of affirmations, and it's absolutely beautiful. And they're never allowed to stand next to the same person twice, so it gets around it. We have this really giant tech kid who will get on his knees and he'll talk to the little kids, and it's just like the
Mm.
sweetest thing in the whole world. I love it so much, and it's scary at first. Looking people in the eyes and telling someone you
Mhm.
love them can be very intimidating and scary, but they look forward to it so much. And then once we do that, we do a prayer circle, and I ask for volunteers to pray for us. And without fail, it's like 19 hands go up. So
Mm.
we're in pre-show prayer for such a long time, and we've actually seen huge transformations in that area where people who are non-believers start to feel most comfortable there first because it is not
Mm.
scary. It is so normalized in circle time that
Mm.
they're like, well, I'll pray, and they don't even really know how yet. And they just start to feel the comfort there, and and those of us that are like know what's happening with these individuals, we're just like, can't breathe, don't move. This is incredible. The Lord is moving, even if you don't see it, even if you can't
Mhm.
outwardly see it, or we're definitely not pushing anything. We're just letting the Lord work and just trying to do our best to lead with the Lord's love.
Oh my gosh,
It's amazing.
gosh, Emily, the Lord is, we're just, our prayer for you and continue to give you peace, continue to give you this wisdom as you navigate things that are very, very difficult. You're navigating situations that are clearly the enemy at work, clearly the enemy wanting to wedge his way in, and you are navigating them with grace and kindness and gentleness and
Mm.
just a way about you that is so beautiful. Gosh, it is beautiful. We've talked a lot this past month about being a voice for good. And you are that.
Thank you. Thank you very
You are
much.
that. You are being a voice for good in a world, in a I guess in a technical community that not is all not it's very hard to find those voices for good in the arts, like you're saying,
Yeah.
and you are that. So thank you for sharing your story today, Emily, again with us here on Love Talk Network. Cathy, any parting words for our listening friends today?
I have just so enjoyed it. And I mean, friends, if you want to get involved here. I mean, if you want to go, if you've thought, I've always thought it would be fun to get involved in theater, and I never have, here is your opportunity for
Yeah.
those people who are thinking, you know what, I just want to get behind what she's doing because this is absolutely amazing. Just reach out to shineonperformingarts.org. And I think you've also given us another email address that takes us there. It is soapaaustin.com, SOPA Austin.com. So lots of ways to reach out to Emily. Thank you so much. .org, all both .org. So
Yeah.
soapaaustin.org.
Yeah. Friends, later on this year or spring of next year. Friends, I'm Coach Kerri Brinkoeter. He's in studio with Marlene McMichael and Cathy Endebrock. What the relationship with Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life. We all want to be seen, and that is what God gives us every single day. We pray that you'd find a Bible believing church where you can go this weekend today, where you can find one and open the scriptures and find a community of people that will love you and support you right where you are. We love you. I'm Coach Kerri Brinkoeter. We'll see you next time right here on Love Talk Network.